Good morning, class. For this assignment, we're going to be labeling two diagrams, an animal cell and a plant cell. I'm going to come in a little bit closer. I think it is a little hard for you to see. Okay. Over here, we have an animal cell, and over here, we have a plant cell. You're going to need colored pencils or markers to complete this activity. We're going to start by taking a red color, okay? And we're going to identify the mighty mitochondria. They're in both cells, okay? So they are shown here by these structures. They have that extra membrane that almost looks like M for mitochondria, okay? I'm gonna come over to here and I'm gonna find the mitochondria. Be careful not to label the chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are usually next to the cell membrane as they like to get light. But these bean structures that have that extra membrane are mitochondria. So make sure you label all those. Okay. This is yeah. 1, 2. Okay, again, those were the mitochondria. Okay. Label it in little pictures. Looks good. Okay, let's do the nucleus. Okay, so everybody take a blue, okay, and circle the nucleus. Has these kind of butterfly-like things. That's the DNA. Sometimes you'll see it as squiggly lines, but we know there's DNA in there. This is the boss in control of cell division and all other cell activities. And we're going to label that nucleus. Again, both structures are found in both cells. Okay, let's take a black or a pen, okay, and let's label the cell membrane. Okay, all of this is the cell membrane. In fact, if you didn't have a cell membrane, you wouldn't have a cell here. It's holding it together like a water balloon. Okay, remember it has tiny pores or holes that allows materials to enter and exit. It's the boundary. And don't forget that plant cells have a cell membrane as well. The inside layer. Okay, so we're going to do cell membrane, insane in the membrane, which reminds us it's inside. Okay, now we're going to take a green and we're going to outline the rigid outer structure only in plant cells, made out of cellulose, gives it its shape, more of a rectangle. And we're going to label that the cell wall. Okay, just like a wall would be on the outside of the room, okay? That is the cell wall. Nothing to label over here, so I'm going to leave it alone. While I have my green, I'm going to label all of my chloroplasts. And they kind of have like lines in them, okay, showing there's stacks in that structure, okay? And they're green because they're filled with chlorophyll. Okay, they're usually around the outside because remember they want light. Okay, so that's the best place to be. And they actually are able to move around in the cytoplasm, and they do so. Okay, speaking of cytoplasm, we're going to wait for that one because it's going to be easiest to do less. There are holes in the cytoplasm, however, okay, and those holes actually store different items. Okay, they could be waste, water, food. Okay, I'm going to try and let's see if I can do this. I'm going to make them purple. Okay, if you have a purple, we're going to label the vacuoles. So find those vacuoles. Okay, and I'm going to look over here. Ooh, I don't see any little vacuoles. But I do see this giant, large central vacuole. This whole thing is a vacuole. Okay, it stores water, especially for plants, waste, and food. Think of this one, vacuole. sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between a vacuole and a lysosome. And remember, plants have a specialized structure where they're able to digest animals have a specialized structure where they're able to digest old cell parts. So I'm going to go with pink, if I can find it. And I'm going to label my lysosomes. Okay, so they kind of look very similar to circular. They look kind of very similar to our vacuoles. Okay, so sometimes that's confusing, but they're only in plants. Lysosomes, Lysol, garbage, get rid of it. Okay, I think I have another vacuole over here. If I want to get the purple back, we could do that. Okay, good to go. All right, what is this superhighway over here, like a belt? That is considered or called the ER. Okay, let's see what colors we have left. Did we do? Yes, we did. I'm going to choose maybe, I don't want to do yellow yet. I will go with kind of a teal and see whatever color you have. Or maybe I'll do brown. That would work. You probably have brown in the color pencils. All right, so this is going to be close to the nucleus because remember, this is where things travel or move through. It's kind of like a tunnel in the cytoplasm, okay? Or sometimes say it's like a highway, okay, where we can get to things, okay? If there are two types, we have smooth and rough ER. If it is, has these little tiny ribosomes on it, they look like little rhinestones on a belt, okay? You can see half of it does. That's where the protein synthesis occurs, where it makes protein, okay, super important. Ribs, ribosomes make protein. And so that's part of the ER. And sometimes they're small and they're free. Okay, so we're going to label those ribosomes, the little structures, rhinestones on the belt. Super important. They're in both ribosomes. Make protein, growth and repair. And let's not forget to label our ER. Okay, we do abbreviate it because it's kind of a long word. So this is going to be the ER. It's getting a little crowded here. All right, then we have this item over here. 1, 2. That's for packaging, kind of like the post office or Amazon. And what we're going to do is we're going to label it. I'm going to get this teal color over here. Use whatever you have left. Looks like stacks of pancakes almost. And we're going to label it the Golgi body. Symbol. Gets everything ready to leave the cell by packaging it up. Okay, so the only thing left we have to do is actually to label the cytoplasm. Okay, so I saved that yellow because it's kind of a lighter color. Okay, and I'm actually going to use my highlighter because I think it's going to be easier. And what we're going to do is we're going to shade in all that cytoplasm to remind us that it's all the fluid around all these organelles. So that's why we say that all the cell activities take place in the cytoplasm, because all these great activities, here's a ribosome, okay, making the protein, are going to take place within your cytoplasm. Okay, get the nice Golgi, got the nice mitochondria. Okay, it's a fluid or gel-like structure. Keep doing that. And then I'm going to go over here. Make sure you don't color inside the vacuoles, okay, because that's a hole in the cytoplasm. So I'm going to go around this giant, large vacuole right away. Okay. I'm also not going to shade outside the cell membrane because the cell membrane is what's holding this cell together. Okay. Remember, the cell wall on the outside is just keeping a more structure, giving it more of a rigid shape. All right. We have now successfully labeled, okay, all of our, I'm going to label cytoplasm before I forget, all of our organelles and parts of the cell that you need to know. Okay. Okay. Have a great day.